Hi there, this is James Swanwick, and you're listening to the Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn how to take back control over alcohol and live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness.
I am 1 year, 365 days alcohol-free.
Yes, John Keltner, who joined our 90-day program exactly 1 year ago today. And what has happened in 1 year of no alcohol, John?
Well, I've gotten a lot more clarity. My health is much better. I've lost some weight. Had to get slightly smaller glasses because of all of the loss of puffiness in my cheeks. And one of my goals going into it was to improve my relationships, especially with my children and my 15-year-old son who lives here with me, and that has worked out great. All of those things have improved.
Amazing. And you lost 20 pounds, I think, over the year. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm wavering around the 20-pound mark, as we speak.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. And you said your sleep is better as well from not drinking?
Oh, absolutely. Sleep through the night. And I've continued to kind of get up earlier and earlier, trying to fit things in before I have to start my regular, professional day. And so at this point, I'm getting up at around 4:30 every morning and fitting in some stretching and some movement and some meditation, and 3 times a week I fit in some basketball.
Wow, it's amazing. Yeah. And just remind me, what was life like when you were drinking? Like, what were you drinking? How much? What was life like a year ago before you got on the call with me and before you enrolled in our 90-day program? And obviously, now you've gone a year with no drinking. What was your drinking life like pre-joining our 90-day program?
Sure. So it was pretty much every day. And I would basically look forward to the end of the day when I would head over to my local pub here in town, and I, as far as what was I drinking, Coors Light, whiskey, etc., and pretty much, didn't sleep well, wasn't very clear-headed, did not look forward to getting up in the morning and getting going, and really had a sense of, and I think I've expressed this to you before, what led me to you was a sense of having kind of suppressed potential. I was really feeling like I was not taking advantage of my abilities, and that alcohol was really holding me back. So I'm glad that I found you and reached out to you, and I'm glad that you convinced me that day a year ago that it's time to make a change. And I can expand on that story if you'd like me to, because that's kind of a good one too.
Yeah, go for it.
You had walked me through the process of why. And I really appreciated that, and I still have my notes from that day, and then we got down to talking about the group and joining the group and the cost of joining the group, and I said, well, James, you kind of gave me the price, and I said, well, James, I really don't make buying decisions that way. I'd really like to think about it. And here it was, late December, and I was thinking I'll put it off until after the new year, like a lot of people do. And I said, I don't make buying decisions that way. And you said, well, how's that working for you? And I've run that script in my head many times since then. When I come to a tough decision about moving forward with something or making a decision, is kind of the why wait, right? How's that working for you? And I would tell you that making that decision before the holidays last year was really great, because, the holidays can be a tough time, and I was kind of put to the test. Fortunately, you gave me some tools and some resources to help me with that. But I really felt like, man, I got through the holidays and on to the new year. And, by the New Year's, 10 or 12 days into it, I really felt like I was off to a good start. So it was a good time to start. There was no need to wait. Right. And I appreciate that push that you gave me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And what was your experience like within our program? Who did you meet? What did you do? What was effective? Sure. That maybe you hadn't had, for years before trying to reduce or quit drinking?
Right. Well, I think a lot of what I felt was that I was alone. I was by myself in this predicament, in this state of mind that I was in. And it was nice to meet the group that you had assembled that were people like me, entrepreneurs, professionals, and so on, that felt the same way, that they were somehow limiting themselves by their use of alcohol. And so it was nice to not be alone. And then Kevin was a huge help. I mean, he just, his guidance was tremendous throughout the process, and the way he would help me to kind of reframe things on our weekly calls and work through things. And then to see the progress that everybody was making, and still to see the progress. I mean, I realize I'm not on the calls or very active in the Marco Polo group and so on, but it's fantastic to see the people as they make progress, and really to have some accountability. I mean, I don't think of the count day by day anymore, but kind of the 20th of each month, I'm on to the next month. So it was really a great group and a great program. And it was just so happened that the 90 days for me, Your Wellness Weekend was right after that. And that was kind of great timing for that weekend, because that was fun too.
And what are your friends or family members or colleagues or associates or acquaintances or people down the pub where you're not drinking alcohol? What do they say to you now? What have they noticed about you now in this year of you being alcohol free?
So I can tell you when I first started, and again, it was at this time last year, and kind of the first event that I went to, because one of the things that was appealing to me about your program was you said, hey, John, you don't have to give up your friends. You don't have to change your lifestyle necessarily. I'm going to teach you how to do things without using alcohol, but you don't have to change. And that was appealing to me because I have friends that I associate with down at my local bar and so on. And I do things with them outside of the bar. In any case, at first they were, of course, oh, come on, just have one. And they would try to encourage me and called me some colorful names, just having fun with it and so on. And, but I was able to kind of stick through that, and that all worked out fine. And in fact, that's where I got the name, as you've called me a couple of times, the Soda Cran Man, because that's what, after a week or two of doing this, now one of my bartender friends started calling me the Soda Cran Man, right? And so I took that on, and I think that they along with the other people that I didn't announce it to my family or friends outside the bar right away. I kind of waited until I had my feet under me and felt a sense of confidence. So that was probably about a month or a month and a half into it that I started letting my family know. And they were all very proud of me and thought it was very good. But I know that a lot of them were just kind of waiting and seeing, how would this go and so on. And still today, when I see people and they'll, hey, John, you still not drinking? No, not drinking. Oh man, that is great. That is fantastic. And of course, physically I've changed. And everybody compliments me on that. Oh, you look like you've lost weight. And some of them kid me about being skinny and all this kind of thing. And it's been really good. And I have a sense of accountability to them too, in terms of continuing this. And I think that's important. It gives me something to continue to shoot for and to lead really. And I think that's part of it too, is I have now kind of regained my sense of leadership in terms of, I have nothing holding me back. I'm only, I'm kind of limitless now, and I can, I still have all of those self-doubts around other things, but I have no physical things holding me back. So it's been great.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
And just finally, just before we wrap this up, someone's watching you now, whether it's on an email or a video or a YouTube video or on a Facebook or in a Facebook group, someone's watching you at some point, either now or in the future somewhere. And they're thinking, man, a year sounds like way too much. Like, I don't think I can even do 30 days, or I don't think I can do 90 days. Like, maybe I should just do moderation. I don't know about this. What would you say to that person who's also knows that alcohol is holding them back, but they have that fear that they won't be able to do it? So what kind of words would you have for that person?
Well, I would say, first of all, that fear is totally understandable, based on our cultural conditioning. And I had all those fears going into it because it was part of my identity, right, amongst my family and friends. So the first thing I would say is reach out and try to get some help, try to get some coaching, right? And that's like with your program, with Project 90, is, commit to some coaching and some and a group and a community of like-minded people. And then you just take it day by day, and you'll find that it'll just compound on itself in terms of how good you feel and how. Now, time, I'll tell you that time sometimes it'll seem really fast and sometimes it'll seem really slow throughout this process. But how quickly this year has gone, and how much, I've been kind of taking notes to myself on the things that I've been doing this last year, and changes and progress and so on. And it's just amazing how quickly a year can go, and how good you end up feeling, and how excited I am now going into a new decade, into 2020, with my full capability, and looking forward to it. So I would say the main thing is go for it, and reach out and find somebody that can help you with it. And that's
wonderful. Well, John, congratulations, mate. You want to do one more thing? Or it's like, I am 1 year alcohol free today. Go on, do it with the big finger and come into the camera. Do it loud and proud.
All right. I am 1 year alcohol free, 365 days.
Amazing. Well done, John. High five, virtual high five. It was a year ago today. I was in this very room and you were in that very house talking about it. And now a year later, we're here celebrating you being a year alcohol free. So I acknowledge you for that, mate. Well done.
Thank you, James. Thanks, Kevin. And thanks to all the P90 past and present.
Thank you so much for listening. I have some free stuff for you. If you go to jamesswanwick.com/guide, I will send you my formula for reducing or quitting alcohol. If you'd like to watch the video versions of these episodes, then you can watch them at my YouTube channel, which is at James Swanwick. If you'd like to send me a direct message on Instagram, you can do so at James Swanwick. If you would like to try a 3-day challenge, a free 3-day challenge, you can go to jamesswanwick.com/3-day challenge. If you would like to try the 30-day no alcohol challenge, you can go to 30-day no alcohol challenge. If you would like to schedule a 15-minute exploratory call with one of my coaches to see how we may be able to help you in your alcohol-free journey, you can go to jamesswanwick.com/schedule. And my request is, if indeed you enjoyed this episode or you have enjoyed the podcast, would you please go ahead and rate the show in iTunes, and would you please write a review? A review might just be a sentence saying, great listen, hey, this was fantastic. Oh, I really enjoyed this. Whenever you give a rating, whenever you write a review, it surges our podcast up in the rankings, enabling more people to see it and hear it, and potentially inspiring someone out there to reduce or quit alcohol and potentially transform their life. So yes, while it does help me to get ratings and to get reviews, you will actually be directly contributing to helping someone's life by having them discover this podcast. So if you are open to inspiring others and to helping me in the process, would you please go ahead and give this episode a ranking, and would you please write a review? Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you on the next one.